I don't think that this whole movement, I don't think that that whole, because it was the first ever, what is it? The National Violence Gun Wearing Orange Crap Day. It was the national day of that, the first one. And they have some very Sun Tzu tactics. So they're able to, one of the things that I will say that they do well is they try to make it look like they have way more support and way more authority and influence than they actually do. They get a handful of celebrities, Susan Sarandon and Sarah Silverman. I mean, not exactly A-listers, but, you know, whatevs. I mean, they're celebrities in their own right. They get these types of celebrities to either hold up a shirt, not even wear it, or just say that they're wearing orange and, oh, look, it's our campaign. It's huge. It's culture now. But then I saw a couple of photos. Apparently they had a rally in Indianapolis. And by rally, I mean tens of people showed up and in their orange shirts. And that was kind of the extent of it. I don't think that, especially in the hometown of the Bloomberg lobby group, that it really took off.
Yeah, and it hasn't here. Listen, I'm here on the streets, on the grounds every single day, and I was there when you spoke to Shannon Watts,
That's
and I
right.
had the video from the other side. And when I say she ran away, we should not think that I'm somehow engaging in hyperbole. She literally ran away. There was one of her aides there who said, oh, that's right, you have that thing. Right, you have that thing now.
Yeah.
And they took her across the grass and into her waiting SUVs that had New York license plates.
And you were there. Did her security guards, did they or did they not start ramming into me?
Not only were they ramming into you, they were absolutely armed. I had pictures of it on Twitter from even before you guys arrived on the scene. It was absolutely surreal. But the propaganda war is absolutely on with them. And that's why I think we can't get them to talk about what's going on. And I've offered up anybody. If they don't want to talk to me for whatever reason, even though I'm just fantastic to talk to, I'll put together a conversation with anyone for them to explain their position. They won't do it. And so the question has to be, and the question has to be put to moms and to people who belong to the organization, everybody else, why do you trust these people? Can you trust Moms Demand Action? Can you trust an organization that was bought for $50 million by Mike Bloomberg, a guy who thinks you're not cogent enough to use salt?
Right, and wants to disarm all minorities because, as he said on tape, he believes that they are behind all of America's crimes, because that's not racist at all. This, I don't think that the Moms Demand Group is as successful as the Brady campaign is, because the Brady campaign played less in hyperbole, whereas the Moms Demand Group, it seems that they just want to go, and not just them, but the Everytown, because they're all a subsidiary of Everytown and Mayors Against Illegal Guns. It seems like the whole goal is to go out and say completely insane things and just wave your arms around and booga, 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 and do that kind of tactic. And that's what they consider good advocacy. Meanwhile, and I'm not a fan of the Brady campaign, but at least they're classy about wanting to take your guns.
When we go back to this propaganda conversation, you talk about Mayors Against Illegal Guns. Weren't they the ones who said that the Sarnev brothers were actually gun victims?
Yes, and they also have child predators, like convicted child predators. People like Gary Becker, who like to assault children and have sexual fantasies about them and have child porn and go and buy kitty underwear at the mall when he's, out on bail.
Hey, listen, I'm very clear on this. My problem with Dzhokhar Sarnev is that he wasn't a victim of gun violence. He wasn't a victim of the police who could have ended this whole situation in the boat. And I take a very strong position to that. Not everybody agrees with my position on that. But it goes back to that propaganda thing you're talking about. Who would say that Sarnev is a victim of gun violence? You really have to have drank all the Kool-Aid and somebody else's Kool-Aid to get to that position.
Right.
It's horrific in nature, and it really is an insult to everybody who has a free and thinking mind and says, that's crazy. Somehow you're going to shame me into thinking that's real. Listen, I'm not Reek from Game of Thrones. I know my name, and I know when somebody is lying to me, and they are lying to me.